bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors.
So, I've got this list in my head of ideas of things you don't need to travel around Australia. And what it is when you're traveling around Australia, weight's important, money's important, and storage is important. So you can't bring everything. So this is just some of the things that we found we didn't need. We got around other ways of having it. And
yeah,
it just made life easier not having these things. But a 200 series Land Cruiser would have been pretty cool. So while the kids are busy, I wanted to talk to you guys about 10 things we didn't need to travel Australia.
Yeah.
And what you use for an alternative. You getting cold? A bit cold. So number one, a 200 series and a 30-foot caravan. You don't need it. Look.
You don't need it. If you can afford it, that's great. But
if you've already got it, you go for it. What my thinking is you go on what you've got. If you've got a reliable 4-drive and a great camping setup, you can do a lap of Australia in a day. You don't need a caravan. You don't need a huge horse-powered V8 diesel 200 series. You know, do it in what you got.
Do it what you know.
Yeah, and do it the way you like.
Don't put it off because you're saving up for a 200 series or a
huge caravan or something.
Caravan, because you can do it other ways. It's not about the look of you doing the lap, I guess. It's more about
don't do it because don't do it because everyone else is doing it in a 200 series in a caravan. They, you know, for them it might be something that they need to run around the kids at the shops or something. But yeah, do it in what you've got. If it's reliable, you don't need the 200 series.
We still saw 200 series on backs of tow trucks and 100 series as well. Like it's not.
Yeah. All right, that's number one. 200 series. Number two is you don't need induction cooking.
No.
We did it with gas. Easy to find gas. We have 2 gas bottles. I would recommend if you're cooking with gas, at least like a 4 kilo and maybe a backup 2 kilo bottle at least. So that way, when one bottle does run out, you've got a reserve.
Yeah, I think having the 2 gas bottles that we used
definitely 2 bottles.
Definitely good. So that even if one did run out, we knew we had backup.
And a good quality gas stove, not one of those cheap little fold-up $30 things. You know, good gas stove, 2 gas bottles, and that's it. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars doing a induction cooker, and you don't have to worry about chasing the sun. We had weeks in the bottom of WA where it was raining for weeks and cloudy.
You can't have fires everywhere. Like,
that's right.
You can't rely on cooking
on the fires. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 3.
Hairdryer.
A hairdryer. A state-of-the-art electrical system. You don't need it.
No.
You don't need to have red arc, you know, touch screen, remote switching. You don't need that. We've just got rocker switches and, you know, old-fashioned switches, and it works great. You don't need all that high-tech stuff. Sometimes the budget end is not right either. You got to get right in the middle there where it's good value for money. Yeah. Quality stuff that'll last because.
And I guess if you know, you know how to do some of your own electrical repairs, that's going to help you a lot. So find out how to do that, because didn't you have some plugs that smashed that we had to fix?
Yeah, some Anderson plugs, some connectors. Like, you don't need the state-of-the-art stuff where it's the big dollar, big ticket, huge expense, you know. Reliable, good value for money, and just stuff that works. So we only had like 3 solar panels, 2 on the camper, 1 on the car. We got a budget set up in the car. There's a link to a video below I can put in. And like, our electrical system probably only cost us $2,500 for everything, car and camper, for our whole electrical system.
And that's pretty cool because the lithium battery was probably the most
$1,000.
expensive part of that.
And yeah, so to me, that's value for money because that thing was just a workhorse. So
Yeah.
there you go. You don't need a high-tech system.
I'm just thinking about the aircon. Sorry.
So another thing you don't need, saying you don't need it doesn't mean you can't have it.
Yeah.
And so don't get upset saying, hey, I've got that, I did a lap of Australia. This is stuff that you don't really need.
This is stuff that we know is expensive and we didn't have, and you don't need it.
No. So you don't need, the next item is you don't need a big lift, lockers front and rear, sway bar disconnects, big mud tyres. You don't need that to see Australia. Australia has got so much beautiful national parks, beaches, epic places. And you do have to be capable forward driving, but you don't need to be super capable. You're going to be so far from home, going down a daunting, rutted, muddy track is, it's terrifying when you're 3,000 kilometres from home.
Yeah.
Or 6,000 kilometres from home.
So you probably find you won't be taking many of those risks anyway because you've already got that anxiety of distance.
The risk factor, if you're going to damage your four drive, it's a long way to get it home, or it's going to be an expensive repair. So you don't need a huge lift because your state of mind changes.
Oh, I'm so glad we've done a lap now. We could just trash everything. No, I'm just kidding. Yep.
You go into a touring mode.
Yep.
So I think we used the front locker once. We never used the winch at all. We just did a run on it to make sure it was all dry. I don't even think I disconnected the sway bars once. So you don't need all that stuff. And we did it in all terrains, and we had plenty of traction.
Yep. Don't need aircon. Well,
I'm talking about aircon in your car.
Yeah. So the aircon in the car is good, but
definitely aircon in the car.
Most of the places we stayed had quite a nice breeze.
Yeah. So look, if you got aircon in your caravan, hats off to you. You're gonna love it.
Hey.
We didn't want the expense of putting aircon in the camper, but I totally recommend having fans, good quality fans that draw low power.
Yep.
Just that cool breeze with big windows, a fan. We were comfortable at night time. During the day, it was hot, but we got used to it. And I think if we had aircon, we would be hiding a lot in the camper, in the aircon, rather than being out and just being used to the heat and exploring. So to me, like aircon, as great as it is, sometimes you get a bit too comfortable and afraid to go out and
be in the elements, and feel it, experience it, feel it, and
So on this trip we got a diesel heater, but a lap of Australia we didn't, and we were cold at nights. We had condensation inside. We had a towel. We dried it all. So we didn't.
This is luxury.
We didn't need a heater as well, but it depends on your lap of Australia. Look, if you're going to really cold places in Australia in winter on your lap of Australia, diesel heater might not be a bad thing, but aircon, I think you can live without aircon.
Yeah.
All right, so next item that you don't need is a TV. I mean, I see a lot of caravans, they do have it. Yay, good for you guys.
Yeah.
But you don't need it. There's ways around it. We had the laptop, which we could watch a few movies on, and you had a tablet.
Yeah.
Simple, cheap, easy to stow away. We didn't ever have to worry about the TV falling off a mountain breaking.
Multifunctional. So I guess the thing, if you've got a TV, it's just a TV most of the time. Whereas, the tablet you can use to check wiki camps or other stuff, as well as play a movie, as well as hook up to Netflix and download stuff when you have service. So, I mean, I don't know, each their own, but TV was unnecessary. And if we had one mounted in the camper trailer with the tracks we took, it would have just come down. So
the corrugations would have killed it, I reckon.
Yeah.
So you don't need a TV.
No.
The next item you don't need is a generator. If you've got a good quality electrical system, not top end, good quality though, solar, you don't need it. You can get away with having just a 240 volt battery charger like we did, and these days with the DC to DC chargers from your car, you don't need the old-fashioned generators. I know they're light now, they're quiet, but there's still a bit of weight. You got to hike around, you got to carry extra fuel for them.
Yeah, and when you are sitting somewhere really quiet,
A generator going to drive you
if
nuts.
you hear someone turn it on, you're like, oh man.
Yeah, good excuse to leave the side if someone's running a generator.
Well, anyway.
So you don't need it. It's
if you need it, you need it, but you can go without it with a good system.
There's ways around it nowadays. You don't need it. Yeah. My arm's getting sore.
Oh, is it? Do you want me to hold it for a bit?
That's right. So next item you don't need is a microwave. Or a travel buddy, guys, I should say.
Yeah, it's funny that Adam should say that, because just before the trip I was like, oh, you know, maybe we should try and get a travel buddy. But when we were working out how far we'd be traveling and what the power it would take to run it and how often we'd use it,
and
it
to
just wasn't
cook something for 4 people, it was like something you'd use. It'd be fun to have, but something you don't need. So you don't need a microwave.
So we decided against it, like, and I was like, oh, I can't make a quiche or I can't make this. But, you know,
there's ways
the
around
camp oven was good enough for those times that we wanted to do that. And we actually became quite good at using our stovetop with the pan with the lid for interesting different things as well. So travel buddy for the cost of it and also for the power.
And where you put it in the car to run it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had the room.
Yeah,
it would have been an inconvenience having it. So, and a microwave for your camper, didn't need it. Like, it was hot enough that if you're defrosting meat, like if you've got a big caravan, you don't need a microwave. You can defrost meat quickly under the bonnet in a pan. Like, not while you're driving, when you stop.
Yeah.
Under warm water.
I did that a lot, actually. Just like heat the pan up, put the meat in there, lid on, and half an hour later it's soft enough and just flip it and do it again. Like, there's ways without the microwave, and
you don't need it.
No.
Okay, this must be number 7.
I don't know, I've lost track. I keep adding stuff, sorry.
You don't need HEMA maps. You don't need a big, huge, expensive GPS system. We had it. It was a pain when we were using it most of the time.
Something went wrong at one stage and it started working again. And,
so look, it is good having it, but you don't need it. Wiki Camps, your phone, a good book with maps in it, is probably enough to do 95% of travelling around Australia.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Google Maps and stuff these days as well. But
with lots of reception, that's all you need. We found HEMA in the map. Explorer mode was really good when really remote tracks and stuff. But a lot of people don't do those tracks on the map with Australia. So you could save money there. Easy.
Yep, easily.
Yeah.
What we should do is add all this up and work out how much you can save if you don't have it.
Oh, my arm's getting sore. All right, next item. You don't need a chainsaw, especially a petrol one. These days, the 18-volt gear, Ryobi, gear like that. Really good chainsaws, value for money, light. You don't need to carry extra fuel. They are good. We didn't need a chainsaw at all. We brought an axe, and I was thinking about bringing a bow saw, but I didn't even bring that. A lot of the times we were just finding bits of timber on the ground, chop it a metre long. Yeah. We didn't have big, huge fires. I don't know, we don't like big bonfires. So we just little cooking fire, little fire to sit around. That's all you need. So you can save weight, you can save money. You don't need a chainsaw. Sometimes it's good to have it. If your lap is going to be involving a lot of state forests where trees might blow down, for you it might be important to have a chainsaw, but most of the time you won't need a chainsaw.
Yeah, for a general lap. I'm just going to take that for you.
Oh, my arm's killing me.
Okay, all right.
What's the last item?
I don't know, I can't remember. What's on your list?
It was a...
laptop.
No, we did that. I forget. I'll have to check my notes. Oh, 2 more items. A Weber barbecue and a grey water tank. So Weber barbecue, I know the Patriots have them, but you don't need them. Come around in the shot.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need the Weber barbecue. So
well, I mean, like,
we brought the camp oven. It's just something. If you got it, good for you. But you don't need it.
No, don't go out of your way to get it, because then you got to get used to cooking meals in that way on it as well. So like, I don't know.
So look, if you're the kind of guy who likes cooking on your Weber and you've got one, bring it. Love it. You'll have a great time with it. But you don't need to go out and buy one. Yeah.
So we literally had our camp stove.
We had the camp oven.
Camp oven when we had fires.
We had the fry pan and 2 pots and kettle and a billy.
Yeah.
And that was it. And we were fine with that. Yeah, you save weight, save money, don't need it. And the grey water tank, look, to make this quick, we put a little one on the trailer in case we had to go to a place where you're self-contained and you need to have a grey water tank. A lot of times we didn't use it. We used a bucket of water to catch our kitchen water. You spread it around away from most of the campsites.
Yeah, but we use the eco soap.
Eco soap, that's right.
Yeah.
And showers, look, no one ever had a problem with us having a shower outside on the 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
The water just trickle on with the ground.
Yeah.
It wasn't making anyone's campsite muddy.
Yeah.
So, oh, excuse me. So we just had a shower most nights beside the car, water on the ground.
Yep.
Didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So look, if you're going to a caravan park or somewhere where you are supposed to be 100% self-contained, like
most of those places have showers anyway, if they are.
Yeah.
Like,
or what we were planning on doing is having a shower somewhere else, and then go to that campsite and camp there.
Yep.
So you can do all the dirty stuff somewhere else, set up camp at the place where you have to be completely contained, and there you go. One thing we did buy, it was a collapsible water drum, like a 15-litre one you can get from the camp stores. We put that in the car just as backup. Didn't need that either. So we had 2 grey water tanks. Didn't need them all. But I would definitely recommend bringing one of those collapsible ones. They're lightweight. They're cheap. You can throw them under the seat of the car or under one of the beds.
Yep.
It was really good just having that just as a precaution. And if we needed extra water, I had a drum there if we wanted.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's the end of this week's video. Next week, we are heading into the snow. We checked the forecast. It is snowing there tonight where we're going, and tomorrow.
So when we get there, hopefully we'll see some snow in the campground where we're going to be.
So are going to be cold.
It's going to be cold. We've been talking about doing the snow for about 4 years before COVID. And then COVID, all the borders were closed. So this is really exciting to finally get into this area.
Yeah, so make sure you give us a thumbs up. Thanks, guys, for all your comments. Help us get down here and help us enjoy this. And,
lots of information, which is cool.
It's been great. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Woo!
Okay, guys. If you're a kid, because I know there's lots of you guys out there, here's some stuff you might want to think of bringing or doing at the snow. Okay? So, you might want to buy a sleigh and ride it. Definitely build a snowman, snow angels, go skiing, igloo, snowball fight, drink and eat hot meal, definitely that. Jump in a pile of snow, but you gotta be careful what's under it and if the snow is like moist or hard as well.
Yeah.
Sit around warm fire, definitely. Snow tubing, like go down a snow tube or something. Go on a ski lift. And build a snow chair. Build a snow chair as well. Like you might want to build a chair made of snow, something like that. Okay. See ya!